Let's take a look at the Christmas Village collection. I've designed everything that it works all together or separately, whichever you prefer. And this collection contains 2 stamp sets, plenty of dies, 3 hot foils, and some paper. So let's take a closer look. Let's start with the Christmas Village stamp set. So for Christmas Village, I designed this based on inspiration from holiday Christmas markets here in Europe. And I put a lot of detail into the houses. And the reason being is that whether you like coloring or you don't like coloring, this stamp set works. So you can simply stamp these because there's so much detail in either black or a color of your choice, and it will look fine and stand its ground. But if you want to color, there's a lot of elements that you can color and a lot of cool shading that you can do. And so this is the different houses. We have a bakery and a post office and then a church and then just various houses in different styles. You also have a snow globe stamp, which you can stamp yourself then a Christmas scene. And I also included a lot of elements that are solid so that you don't need to mask off the house if you wanted to stamp some of these people in front of the houses. As long as your ink is dark enough, it will be good to go and you can stamp directly over top. It comes also with a coordinating die, and it has a die to cut out absolutely everything in this set. So there's a lot of details in there. Now to show you some samples of what you can create, as I said, they stand perfectly on their own even when they're just simply stamped. No coloring is necessary. You can see how they look as stamped images. I also have, you can keep them very plain by stamping them in a neutral color, for example. And of course, as with any stamp, you can also heat emboss them. Gives it a really, really great look as well. For the holiday A6 stamp and die set, this will go with any holiday card that you like. You can mix and match the stamps and the dies. You can just simply stamp, you can simply use the dies. So it really is quite a versatile little set here. And you can see that I've created a few cards, Merry Christmas. So just using the dies, for example. You can use a mixture of the dies and I heat embossed. You can just simply heat emboss, or of course you can simply stamp them. And this will go with so many different styles of cards. And I feel that the sizing of the stamps are a nice variety as well because you have a mixture of large and small, so you can really just add them to any of your cards. Now, I've been card making for well over 15 years, so when I design something that is as simple as a snowflake, for example, a snowflake die is nothing new, and a snowflake hot foil plate is also nothing new, but I always try and think of how do I want to use it as a card maker or as a paper crafter. And so what I decided to do was design the hot foil plate to stand by itself, so if you want to directly hot foil on top of your card, you can. The die cut can also work completely on its own. It's absolutely gorgeous when you cut it out. Here it is in red and in gold. And they also work that the die cut will cut out the hot foil plates. So there's no really wasting of your supplies, and you really just have so much versatility when you are creating. So you can create your snowflake by cutting it out of the background itself. You can just simply glue it on a card and add a sentiment. You know, there's just so many possibilities. You can have it just on its own. I think it looks really great. There's the hot foil look. You can see it here. I'm just going to hold it up to the light so you can see the shine. And again, just using it as a bit of a frame with some pattern paper behind it. It just really is versatile, but also in a way and a size that makes it the focal point of your card so that you don't have to really add too much more to it. It just works on its own, add a sentiment, and you're done. Now the Snowstorm set is probably my favorite out of the collection. It is a hot foil and die set. So this one here, again, designed with card making in mind to make things as quick and efficient as possible. I've designed the hot foil plates to be one single piece, and you can see that the coordinating die cuts all 4 of them out at the same time. But they also are lined up in a way that you could place it very easily on your background if you wanted to directly hot foil onto your background. So that just makes die cutting easy because you hot foil once, you die cut once, and you have 4 snowflakes at the end. And then we have here 4 dies that are similar to these ones, but I did design them slightly different so that they look great together, but you're also getting more of a variety of the style of snowflake. So you have here 4 die cuts that cut out very detailed small snowflakes. So let's take a look at some card samples of what I've created. So one of them is when I die cut and I heat embossed it. Here you can see a mixture of the hot foils as well as the die cut. So you can see them here, how they cut out, gives it a nice thick border around them, and you can pin or use them together or separately. It's up to you. So whether you're using single elements or you're using them as a group or a cluster of snowflakes, they're really just quite beautiful. Now, similar to the last sets we've been talking about, Christmas lights, hot foil, and die set, again, they coordinate so that you can cut out the hot foiled image. You can use the hot foil image by itself, or you can just simply die cut it. We have two different types of string lights here that really are truly beautiful on cards. So here they are as a die cut. And then you can see them as a hot foil. And again, as a subtle hot foil. And these just make for really fun cards. You can have these behind your houses if you prefer to pair it with the Christmas Village stamp. You can have it as the primary focus. You can have it as something as more of a background. And it just is absolutely beautiful. I love this set so much. And I like the fact that, you know, you can twist and turn it to get a whole bunch of different looks depending how you add it to your paper. Lastly, let's take a look at the paper pack. It comes with 24 single-sided pages. I love single-sided pages because I don't like to decide between the designs. And these are 6 designs, and you get 4 of each one of them, so you get a nice amount, I find. And these ones I like to combine a very neutral palette that is a little bit different than your traditional bright Christmas greens and reds, but rather a more muted tone. And so I absolutely love anything with sort of natural textures on them, like this wood color. Again, you get 4 sheets. Then to go along with the idea of the Christmas houses and the Christmas market, this adorable paper here where you have a bunch of different houses with, you know, little mailboxes and ornaments and different natural elements as well, plants and trees. Then we have the green. This is sort of a sage color with white snowflakes. That's very subtle and beautiful. Some white hard grained wood. So again, you have both different features. You have the brown and the white. Now this one here, again, taking after the Christmas Village, you have a whole bunch of the houses in white. These are the same houses as the stamp set. And it also coordinates really well with this green. I find it's more of a gray tone, but it does have a little bit of a green tinge to it. And then for those of you who might, you know, prefer elements like this where you can make tags out of them, you can add these to your cards just to make easy cards. These are sentiments that are completely done for you already in little elements that you can add to your paper crafting projects. So let's take a look at some of the things that you can do with the patterned paper. So one of the cards I created with the brown wood here, I actually created with some hot foiling on top. You can see the shine there with holiday wishes. Just to get a sense of all the different papers, aside from the sentiments, of course, in the pack, I created this card here, which is a super easy design that you can incorporate into your cards to use up strips of patterned paper. And here's another idea if you're using small strips of patterned paper, is to align them behind a die cut to add a cool little frame. And you can see all the different papers in there as well.